Hi friends, it's Jennifer Gillette. Welcome back to your month 2 training. This is the second video in the series of 4 videos that I'm creating on the top skills that you need to be successful in direct sales. So this is my dog Jack. He loves to play as soon as we start recording, so bear with us. It's gonna get noisy. So last month we talked about booking, and I talked about how booking is the most important skill that you want to develop in your direct sales business. It's a skill that you will use over and over and over again. So start practicing so you can master as soon as possible. If you missed that video and you would like some coaching and training on the topic of booking, click below, if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description of this video, and I will have a link to that first video all about booking. So this month for February, we're gonna focus on one skill. For the entire month, we're gonna talk about hostess coaching. His toy is like hiding somewhere in my hair, is crazy. But hostess coaching, okay. So I have 3 little tips and I'm going to share with you about hostess coaching, but before I get into them, I want to do a huge disqualifier. So hostess coaching is a skill that you're going to need to master, but there's not one way to do it, because just like every consultant is different, every hostess is different, every customer is different, and so it's not a cookie cutter approach. I do have a system that I use that I modify for every party, but this will just kind of give you like a guideline of where to invest your time. Because hostess coaching, I think right after learning the skill of booking, is the most important skill. It's like number 2, which is why we're covering it second. Selling is important, recruiting is important, but if you don't master booking, and Jack, this is really getting annoying. If you don't master booking and host coaching, you'll never get to the point where you're able to effectively sell or recruit, because you haven't mastered, you don't even have bookings to go do. So Jack, calm down. Calm down. So the first thing I want to go over is that what hostess coaching is all about is letting your hostess know she's important. When someone says yes, that they want to book a party with you, she doesn't want you to ignore her. And if you don't communicate with her until maybe a day before the party, and you don't give her instruction and you don't guide her, probably what she's thinking is, does she even care about my party? So if you can kind of first and foremost just get that into your brain, that when I connect with my hostess, when I coach my hostess, it's showing her that I care about her, that her party's important to me, that I'm invested. So some of the steps that I do in my letting my hostess know she's important is about 2 weeks before the party, I mail out a hostess packet. And I will create a whole separate video, or maybe just a few pictures, and I'll show you guys exactly what I put into my hostess coaching packet. So those of you who had parties with me before you became a consultant in Mary Martha, you know what I send out. I get our folders that you can buy in Business Supply. I get a 10-pack of those. They're like $7. They're really cute, professional. They say Mary and Martha on them. I put 2 catalogs unless the hostess requests more, but usually a catalog for the hostess to flip through, and then a catalog for her to pass around to her friends and families to collect outside orders. And then I put in a scripture shareable, a 100-day, like the tear out notes. I write a little note to her on one of those. A business card, actually do 2 business cards in the folder. I do, when it opens up, there's a place to put your business card. I order my business cards off of Vistaprint. So I just think it's a really cost-effective place. You can get like 250 business cards for like $20 and put your picture on it and put all your information. So about 2 weeks out, I'll mail out the hostess packet with, and then the host planner. And you can get this on your Business Supplies. When you get the folders, you can get your catalogs off of the Business Supply list, and you can also get a little piece of paper that says a host planner, and I think you can get like a 10-pack for a couple dollars, and I mail one of those to every single hostess because it has the hostess tracker, like how many free points she gets, and it's got like a place where she can fill out who's coming. I know not all hostesses do these things, but for hostesses who like to be organized and like to have a system, they will appreciate that you put that in there, and it costs you like 25 cents. So definitely put one of those in. And then the last thing in my hostess packet, well, two last things. I go to the copy store and I print out some really good quality flyers. So I'll have the current month customer special, the current month host special, the current month business supply kit, and I'll put little post-it notes on each of those flyers and just let her, like a little personal note, like make sure all your customers know about this on the customer special flyer, or let's work hard to get 5 to 6 orders before the party so you'll qualify for your first hostess special that they get with a $500 party. Or I'll encourage them and just let them know, you know, a $1,000 party isn't that hard. It's just about 12 or 13 orders. So they're gonna be dedicating this time to their party anyway. They may as well work to make it successful. So I'll put little notes in there to encourage them. And then the last thing is I do a Mary and Martha thank you note. And in that thank you note, that's where I'll put the scripture shareable, the 100-day that I tear out and put in there. It's got like a scripture and a prayer on it. I'll write a handwritten note on that, and I'll put all that together. And we have a mail service at the house where we can make labels to mail catalogs and product and whatever I want to mail to my customers, to my team. I know a lot of you have gotten little goodie bags in the mail from me. But I will, with the hostess packet, I'll put all that together in the pink pink folder, and then I'll put it in a big envelope, and I'll mail it media mail. Media mail is like a lot less expensive than regular mail. I can mail out a hostess packet depending on the zip code where it's going for a couple bucks, like $2 to $3 to mail out that whole packet of information to my hostess. So I mail that about 2 weeks out. I'll send her a message on Facebook. I'll let her know that her hostess packet is on the way, and then I'll touch base with her about a week before the party. Then I'll be, you know, sending her some further tips to have a successful party. So that way you're holding yourself accountable with your hostess coaching. You're letting her know, this is what I'm doing for you, and I am gonna be following up to give you some tips for your party. It just lets her know that you care about her party and that you're invested in her success. So the second tip for hostess coaching is to give her advice. You are a coach. You know what you're doing, okay? So give her advice, give her tips, give her incentives. Here's a few things that I do to help my hostess. So I want my hostess to feel like we're business partners. And so I'll say something to her like, thank you for partnering with me on your first Mary and Martha in-home gathering. Or I'm so excited to partner with you on your second Mary and Martha virtual gathering. We're gonna have so much fun. I mix and match between voice messages and text messages through Facebook Messenger just to create a connection with my host. I prefer text messages so that she can read them. I feel like voice messages are more they're helpful for the person sending them because you can send a quick message, but if it's like details or things she needs to do, like steps, it's better to have it in a text form so that she can see the information and like it stays in her brain. Sometimes if we listen to it, it goes out of our brain the second we hear it. So voice messages are great for building connection and rapport and letting her hear your enthusiasm. It's kind of like what I use as an alternative to back in the day when we would call people, but you want to make sure you're very upbeat, happy, and positive if you send a voice message. You don't want to send a voice message that's like, right? Nobody wants to hear that. So you want to be upbeat and positive in your voice messages, communications with your hostess. So some of the tips that I do with my hostesses that you guys can use, and you don't have to do all of these, you can pick and choose what works for you, but I like to connect with my hostess at least 2 to 3 times before her gathering to let her know she's important. So I will give her a challenge to collect 5 pre-party orders. I'll let her know I have a little special gift for her when she reaches that goal to make sure she lets me know. And it could be something super little. It could be something from the Dollar Tree. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money to have a lot of meaning. So just a little something, a little trinket, or it can be like, do these 3 things and you get, and like you might mail her a scripture shareable deck with her order. But create little incentives for her. I like to do that with my hostesses. A second thing I do in my hostess coaching is I encourage her. So 5 pre-party orders, and then I encourage her to have 10 guests in attendance, either on the live, if we're doing a Facebook gathering, or to have 10 guests in attendance in her at-home gathering, if we're meeting at her house, my house, a restaurant, whatever. Because that really sets her up for success. If she has 5 pre-party orders, she's probably already hit $500 in sales, or at least $250, $300. And then she's got 10 guests in attendance. For sure, you can find at least 2 new hostesses to book at that party if there's 10 people there, right? And for sure, you'd have at least 5 orders at the party if there's 10 guests in attendance. So that just sets you up to have a $1,000 party and have your hostess get the maximum host rewards. So 5 pre-party orders, 10 guests in attendance, and 2 bookings. So I communicate this to my hostess. I don't communicate all this information at one time. I give it to her in bite-sized pieces. So I might share 1 piece of information a week before, 1 information 3 days before, and like maybe this next piece I'm gonna show you, I might share the day after the gathering or the day before. And that is the 2 bookings from the gathering. So how I communicate this to my host is if it's a Facebook party, I might send a message that says something like, who do you know who loves to host in-home gatherings, or who do you know who loves to host Facebook parties with direct sales companies, or who do you know who loves Mary and Martha and would love a free and half off shopping spree. So who do you know who? So get that in your brain, because I use that for lots of different scenarios in my training, but it works really good because it gets people thinking, who do I know who does X, Y, and Z that this person's asking me for? So when you partner with your host, who do you know who, and let her know, my goal is to have 2 bookings from every party. This is how I keep my business going. She'll want to support you. And especially if there's something in it for her, like a little trinket or a little gift or an attaboy, or you get to be part of my exclusive hostess club when you do these 3 things. Get creative. If you need some ideas, I can share what I do in my business, or we can brainstorm what works best for your business. I always coach my consultants to look at your business and your budget and have a budget for these things. Whether it's $5 or $10 a month or whatever, you need to have a budget for things like prizes, recognition, incentive, even if it's really small. And you need to have a budget for these things so that you stick with your budget and you don't go crazy with spending money on prizes, because that's what this girl loves to do, because I love to encourage people. I love to give presents and prizes and recognize people. And so I had to really rein back my spending and make sure my spending is in alignment with my income. And so I'm not spending this much and earning this much, right? You want to earn this much and spend this much so you have income left over for your family, right? So I can help you with that. I can definitely coach you with that. And then the last tip, this is something that I just started doing with my Facebook parties. And I've noticed with Facebook algorithm that guests tend to see the post better if one of their friends posted in the group versus me, because a lot of time with where I'm at in my business is I'm doing for parties for people that I don't know any of their friends. So their entire, and I don't just send friend requests to people I don't know. I have to have a connection to connect with them on Facebook. So I will send my hostess 5 or 6 pictures from our party template, and I will ask them, hey, if I send you some instructions, would you mind posting these strategically throughout the event and just, making a little caption above the picture, just so that your friends see the post and they come into the group to see what we're doing? And they usually say yes. Sometimes I'll add, because what I found is, so write that down, what I found is my hosts who engage more in the group and share posts in the group tend to have more successful parties, and it's true. So I had just started that last month, and I've seen huge increase in engagement. The parties have been more fun. I've got more sales, more bookings. So yeah, that is really tip. So make sure you give your hostess ideas, tips to help her be successful. And then the last thing I want to go over with you, and this is kind of like selling 101, is the sale doesn't stop when the person gives you money. The sale is really customer service. They're married. You want to make sure that you continue to coach your hostess after the event. So some of the things I wrote down: after the party is making sure my hostess has a personal invitation in her inbox to join my VIP customer group. So you could just share it and it goes straight to her messenger if she's not already a member. And then I solicit her, I recruit her to share my VIP group with her friends. She can just click that little arrow and share that with her friends. Hey, this is the consultant if you want to stay up to date on what's happening, like after the party, maybe 2 or 3 days after. And that way you've got new members into your VIP group who have recently experienced Mary and Martha. They potentially have their new products already if they shopped during the gathering before you closed it. Or they'll be getting their products in the next 2 days. And it just really creates this like sense of connection, and they feel like they're part of a community. So the hostess coaching is things like that after the party. When the products are delivered, letting her know that there'll be bags in the order form and like how everything is set up, and I can go over all that with you on a different call or a different training, but just I communicate those things to her so she knows what to expect when her order gets there and timeline and all that good stuff. And then the last thing is so important. So closing the party. If your party is on a Tuesday, you want to coach your hostess. You're going to do that 3-day party experience. You're going to be posting in the group Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Thursday, you want to have all the orders. So if the party's on Tuesday, I'll say we can either close it out this night, or if you want to leave it open for a day or two and make it seem like that's a really long time, a day or two, we could keep it open to Wednesday or Thursday if you want to. That kind of creates that sense of urgency in her. If she wants to get it done and close it out right away, she can, but she has until Thursday. And then we know everything we submit by Friday, we're getting paid the following week. So I have a personal goal to have all my parties closed by Friday so that I know I'm getting paid the next week. Because if you wait and close it on the weekends, if you work on the weekends, if you close it Saturday or Sunday, you're not getting paid the following. It's gonna be like the next week before you get paid. So that's part of the hostess coaching. If your host doesn't know expectations going in, she can't meet those expectations for you. So like I said at the beginning, this is an evolving process. This is something that you really have to get out there, book the parties, hold the parties, and coach your hostesses, even if you're coaching her badly, to learn what are some of my pain points, what are the things that are frustrating me with my hostess. Then those are the things that you need to coach better. Take that personal responsibility. I'll share with you guys a personal example that happened. I recently closed a party yesterday that I was up until 11 o'clock at night because I didn't do a good job host coaching and letting my host know it's the end of the month. We can't wait till the last day to get this order in. And we're usually in bed by 9. So I didn't get her host order until 9. And so I'm putting all the things in. And at the very last minute, one of the credit cards didn't authorize, and it was for a really big order. So I had a decision to make. Do I submit this party without this order? It's gonna mess up all the hostess totals and rewards, and then I'm gonna have to put something on my card. I tried to reach out with the person whose card didn't authorize. It turned out it was a banking error. She had fraud on her card, so she's like, I'll take care of it in the morning. But I'm like, I can't take care of it in the morning because then she'll lose her BOGO. It was a mess. So I was up until 11 o'clock messaging all the different groups and trying to think, and I created all this stress for myself because I didn't coach properly. So I learned a lesson. What am I gonna add into my hostess coaching? If it's the last day of the month and I'm closing out a party, first of all, I would prefer not to. I'd prefer to do it the day before. But if I'm gonna do the last day of the month, let her know I need all orders by noon if it's the last day of the month. So that gives me time to get everything in, and if there's any banking issues or anything, get it solved before midnight. So I learned a lesson. So as you're building your hostess coaching and learning to connect and build rapport with your hostesses so you can partner with them for higher sales, just know it's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna have to make adjustments and tweaks along the way, but you can do it, and I'm cheering for you. I'm in your corner, and I hope this video was helpful. So comment down below 2 or 3 things that were helpful to you that you would like to implement in your hostess coaching. And if you have some success tips, things that you've been doing in your business for hostess coaching, share your best practices and your tips and your advice down below. I'll be creating a Facebook chat with some of the messages that I send to my hosts on Facebook when I'm hostess coaching in person or online parties. And you can just copy and paste those, just some scripts that you can use. Obviously tweak them and make them your own, change the wording so it sounds like you, or use them just the way I say them if it sounds like something you would say. But I'm here to support you and make your business fun and rewarding. So thanks for being a part of the community, and I will see you guys next month. We will be talking about selling. So I'm excited to share that with you guys, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.